motion. The significance of Muwop sprinting upstairs is that he did so with such urgency that he even caught the attention of Kenny Mack, who then followed Muwop upstairs, as captured by CCTV surveillance cameras that had always been in O Block. Moments later, C Murder, Muwop, and others were seen running down a stairwell in Parkway Gardens, and according to the FBI, Muwop and another individual got into a Ford Fusion owned by Los, while C Murder entered a Chrysler 300 with two others. Both cars were then traced by various cameras to the scene of the murder, and upon arrival, Muwop and another shooter jumped out of the Ford Fusion's passenger side, opening fire on FBG Duck, who was ducking behind his girlfriend's car. Meanwhile, two individuals exited the Chrysler, one targeting and apparently hitting Duck's girlfriend, and the other firing at Duck, with all of this being caught on a surveillance camera.
Right, all this is on fucking camera. Y'all are some goofies, bro. Y'all literally crashed out. Y'all didn't realize y'all was all on camera in O Block? Hell no.
Shortly after.
What's good, y'all, man? Back with another little video today, you feel what I'm saying? Today we got the Muwop's trial and imprisonment for the FBG Duck murder, you feel what I'm saying? We gonna see this video talk about. Before we start though, you already know what the business is, man. Like the little video, share, subscribe to the channel, smash that bell. Let's dive straight into the business and see how this going, man. Let's get it, bro.
The investigations into the death of FBG The investigations into the death of FBG Duck commenced immediately after his death. The authorities had been watching O Block members' activities closely for over a year, and eventually the moment finally came when everything unraveled. On a quiet morning, the news broke that Muwop, along with 4 other O Block affiliated gangsters, had been arrested for the brazen broad daylight murder of FBG Duck. This marked the beginning of the end for Muwop as he knew it.
Tonight, federal law enforcement officials say they are charging 5 Chicago street gang operatives with racketeering in the 2020 Oak Street hit on Carlton Weekly.
Man,
the rapper known as FBG Duck. Investigators say he was a gang member whose videos had irked members of a rival gang, 5 of whom tonight stand charged with his killing under the RICO statute, Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, that in 1970 was created to help dismantle traditional organized crime, aka the mob.
Yes, eventually the FBI closed in on O Block like the Chicago outfit back in the 1930s, rolling into the area in armored personnel vehicles, leaving with 5 alleged killers in custody. The FBI would hold a press conference announcing that 5 individuals had been indicted and arrested for the murder of Duck.
We are here today to announce charges which charge 5 individuals with federal crimes relating to the August 4th, 2020 murder of Chicago rapper Carlton Weekly, who's also known as FBG Duck. That indictment alleges that these 5 individuals were members or associates of the O Block street gang.
Those 5 people charged, names that you're probably very familiar with at this point, were Charles Liggins aka C Murder, Kenneth Robertson aka Kenny Mack, Carlos Offord aka Los, Christopher Thomas aka C Thang, and Marcus Smart aka Muwop. 4 were arrested that morning, 1 of them was in jail already on other charges, and the indictment labeled the O Block street gang as a racketeering organization.
Bruh, imagine you in jail, they just hit you with some more charges. You like, what the hell?
Stating that the murder of FBG Duck was done to further the O Block criminal enterprise, and going as far as to say that O Block members would brag about their crimes publicly and taunt rivals on the internet.
Publicly claiming responsibility for acts of violence committed by the enterprise, taunting rival gang members, and also alleges that the O Block enterprise sought to increase its status through the use of social media platforms and music.
These guys really did want the entire world to know what they had done, and it really was only a matter of time until the feds took a closer look at it. And unsurprisingly, the social media posts that these guys had been making along the way were named specifically by the FBI as being part of the racket, with the feds even going as far to tell the public in their press conference that you can go online and look up O Block members bragging publicly about the crimes that they were doing in the streets.
There's publicly available material where I think you can learn more about the activities of certain individuals.
See, like if you spit iron on something or you stepping on something, do not post it on the net. Motherfuckers like Trap Lord Ross, they gonna make Trap Lord Ross, he gonna make a motherfucking video on you before the police even get all the evidence. They gonna watch the video and get everything they need on God, bro. Like shit, y'all better watch out, motherfucker.
But generally speaking, what's happening on social media and what's happening in music videos that are on YouTube, particularly in the drill rap genre, it shows you what's happening in this city. It shows you exactly what's happening in the city, which is that people are threatening to commit acts of violence and then either bragging about acts of violence or talking about how they're going to retaliate for other acts of violence. But for instance, you can go on the internet right now, you can see people in music videos guns all over the place, talking about who they've shot or who they're going to shoot.
Oh, God.
The FBI actually elaborated on the fact that O-Block's crimes were apparently so far-reaching that the case ended up going federal.
This was one of those cases we were able to bring federal resources to bear to work with the Chicago Police Department to ultimately help us make the case. We were able to establish evidence to indicate that there was a racketeering enterprise here that was involved, and this murder was done in furtherance of that, and so federal charges were appropriate.
This isn't a great look for anybody that spent a lot of time with O-Block members, especially in other states. Mama Duck would come out to make an emotional announcement that her son's killers had been finally captured.
They got him. They got these son of a bitches. They got him, they got him, they got him, they got him, they got him. And all that shit two motherfuckers was talking. The Fed just called me and told me they arrested Muwop, they arrested C-Thing, they arrested 2 more, it was 5 people that they have in custody. The little boy who killed himself August the 24th was one of the shooters.
He killed himself?
Shot my son. They just told me that
what
too.
The hell?
No, they're not still investigating nothing. It's over with. Now they got to prove they self-innocent. And my son was killed by some kids like these kids.
That's how it be.
Their mamas can still see their kids. I can't see mine.
Damn.
She would later go live on...
See, this the thing though. Who was that one kid that murdered? It was the kid that murdered YBC Dole, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken, but if I'm not mistaken, he murdered Dole because he wanted to make a name for himself or some shit like that. I believe that was him, bro. That shit was fried. He didn't even have nothing to do with it or nothing, bro. Motherfuckers be out here just the youngest. They gotta make they in the streets. They gotta make a name for themselves. They gotta get known. So they try to knock off the biggest op that they can just for a name, bro. Just for clout, bro. And that shit is lame. Oh God, y'all be tweaking with that shit.
Instagram with a slightly more pointed attitude.
People be so motherfucking cocky. The motherfuckers that did that shit, they ain't got away with shit. You might think you did, but you didn't. They got them motherfucking scripture. They caught them some of bitches. They got them. Justice for brick necks. That little baby that killed himself in Parkway, he was one of them. And they got the other 5. They from O Block, baby. That's why the mayor said what she said about my son, because she was already on their dick.
Duck's mom even went as far as to call out Boss Top for self-snitching in an earlier interview.
The interview.
For opening your big ass mouth. Yeah, keep on being cocky.
She would go on to say that it's going to cost $2 million for 5 people to defend themselves against a federal case.
Damn.
Pondering whether whoever was paying the lawyers for all the murderers would still be bankrolling them after this news.
They need 5 federal motherfucking defense attorneys. That's goddamn it what? Over $2 million worth of attorney fees. We finna see how much motherfuckers love them for real. And for you motherfuckers that was happy that they took my son, they gonna need y'all to be by their motherfucking side. Cause everybody else involved ain't here no more. I deal with it and suffer. And the motherfuckers that ain't here, they finna dislocate they self from y'all ass. We're about to see all the motherfuckers that was harboring them and keeping them with them and all that. They finna be so disclosed from their ass. Watch what I motherfuckers tell you.
After the news broke, O-Block loyalists, still on the outside, took to social media to say free the members, with others openly speculating on Zell's potential involvement as an informant before his suicide. Now, some of the remaining O-Block members...
Whoa, he was an informant?
Zell's potential involvement as an informant...
He snitched and then he killed himself. What the hell?
His suicide. Now, some of the remaining O-Block members continued to go live as a show of face, while so-called O-Block youngers begun going live too, apparently ready to fill the void left by the older hitters from their block being locked up. Soon after the news was announced, Lil Durk unfollowed Muwop on Instagram and tweeted that he wants to go back to high school. For a moment, some people thought, hey, maybe this is Lil Durk truly going on the straight and narrow in life. Other people could see that tweet for what it really was, damage control. But clearly Lil Durk wasn't too worried about his image, because the day after the indictment and tweeting that he was planning to go back to high school, he still went ahead with the release of his track Pissed Me Off, which is yet another Get Back anthem apparently dedicated to his recently murdered brother. And at a certain point, it really does just make you wonder, when's it all going to end? With with the 5 killers already identified as Charles C. Murder Liggins, to Carlos Los Offord, Marcus Muwop Smart, Christopher C. Thang Thomas, and Kenneth Kenny Mac Robertson. And then the investigation would take a new turn when on April the 11th, 2023, a 6th suspect named Ralph Turpin, also known as Tall or Teasy from THF, was charged with murder in aid of racketeering and conspiracy to commit murder in aid of racketeering, according to a statement from the US Attorney's Office. Teasy's role in the murder of FBG Duck was pivotal, as he was apparently the one who made a call to Lil Durk's brother D-Thang, who apparently paid $5,000 for Duck's location.
You said that OTF D-Thang paid $5,000 for FBG Duck's location?
Oh yeah, the guy sent it to his baby mama, Teasy. He sent it to his baby mama, the cash app. He sent it that he killed Duck, that he got him killed, that he sent it all to him, and he stayed out there after that, Vlad. He stayed on the scene. That's why his Duck was on the ground, man. We watching Duck fight for his life. He was in the crowd.
Damn,
the guy was in the crowd watching Duck fight for his life, man. They deserve to go down.
Now this is a crazy connection, and unfortunately, as Durk's brother D-Thang would end up losing his life before the trial too, there would ultimately be no consequences for Lil Durk, King Von, or D-Thang.
Right, but if he didn't lose his life, he would have been locked up with them. That shit is crazy how they got his ass.
And it would be the shooters and spotters at the very bottom who brought all of the brunt of the prosecution. But interestingly, the man who put the plan into action, Teasy, actually had a personal vendetta against Duck, as Duck was apparently dating his baby mother and had been around his kids, which deeply angered him. So after spotting Duck and following him into a store to positively identify him, Teasy made a crucial call to D-Thang and members of O-Block, and apparently his loud, agitated conversation was so conspicuous that the store's security guard even begun recording him as he told the people on the other end of the phone FBG Duck's location. Meanwhile, back in O-Block, Muwop, sitting in a car, would receive the call about Duck's whereabouts, sprinting upstairs to alert the others and setting the deadly plan into motion. The significance of Muwop sprinting upstairs is that he did so with such urgency that he even caught the attention of Kenny Mac, who then followed Muwop upstairs, as captured by CCTV surveillance cameras that had always been in O-Block. Moments later, C-Murder, Muwop, and others were seen running down a stairwell in Parkway Gardens, and according to the FBI, Muwop and another individual got into a Ford Fusion owned by Los, while C-Murder entered a Chrysler 300 with 2 others. Both cars were then traced by various cameras to the scene of the murder, and upon arrival, Muwop and another shooter jumped out of the Ford Fusion's passenger side, opening fire on FBG Duck, who was ducking behind his girlfriend's car. Meanwhile, 2 individuals exited the Chrysler, one targeting and apparently hitting Duck's girlfriend, and the other firing at Duck, with all of this being caught on a surveillance camera.
Right, all this is on fucking camera. Y'all are some goofies, bro. Y'all literally crashed out. Y'all didn't realize y'all was all on camera in O-Block? Hell no.
Shortly after FBG Duck's death, Teasy's ex-girlfriend received a chilling text message from Teasy containing only 3 laughing emojis. Teasy had also been caught on audio and video earlier, expressing anger over Duck being around his kid and boasting that that is over with now. Kenny Mac's involvement in the hit would make him a focal point in the case due to the amount of self-incrimination he'd done too. On the drive downtown to kill FBG Duck, Kenny Mac was actively texting an associate who was trying to return a gun, telling them to wait in O-Block because, as he put it, we on Duck. And even after the hit, Kenny Mac allegedly texted a witness, Cooperator 4, telling them to check Spot News, referencing a social media page that provides real-time updates on police activity. Roughly 45 minutes later, upon returning to Parkway Gardens, Kenny Mac sent Cooperator 4 a link to a news story about Duck's murder, further confirming his involvement, and a text log would later reveal Kenny Mac discussing money being on Duck's head.
Wow, 50,000.
The next morning, Kenny Mac allegedly sent another link to a news story about Duck's murder via Instagram to another associate, who responded with disbelief that Kenny Mac had used his own car in the hit, with Kenny Mac quickly instructing the associate to unsend that, revealing his awareness of the gravity of actions and just how much he had already incriminated himself. By October 2023, law enforcement had gathered enough evidence to indict 6 O-Block members, including Muwop, for their alleged roles in the murder of FBG Duck.
Bro, they have literally every single thing. Every single thing, bro. Y'all is not getting out of this, bro. That's why that shit is federal, because they literally built up their case. For 3 years, they built up their case, bro. And they got all the evidence, text messages, camera footage. There's no getting out of this. You're done, bro. The only way you get out of this is if you got great motherfucking lawyers. And y'all in O-Block, y'all living there, tells me y'all don't have financial status to hire great lawyers. Y'all are done. God damn.
A federal jury has convicted 6 suspected gang members in the murder of rapper FBG Duck. The rapper was shot outside a luxury clothing store in Chicago on East Oak Street in April of 2020. His girlfriend and a shopper were also hurt. Prosecutors say the murder was the result of a violent gang war fueled in part by rap songs by Duck and a competing Chicago rapper.
The trial, which spanned more than 3 months, culminated in January 2024 with a federal jury finding 6 O-Block members guilty.
After a trial that lasted more than 3 months, the jury convicted 6 men for the murder of rapper FBG Duck.
The anonymous jury, composed of 5 men and 7 women, deliberated for 16 hours over the course of 3 days to reach their verdict. All 6 men were convicted of murder in aid of racketeering and conspiracy to commit murder, among other charges.
Jury in Chicago has found 6 gang members guilty for carrying out the brazen murder of drill rapper FBG Duck in August of 2020 right in the Gold Coast. The jury of 5 men and 7 women have remained anonymous during the trial out of fear of their lives. They deliberated for close to 16 hours over the course of 3 days before reaching a verdict. During the trial, prosecutors outlined a gang feud that was brewing for a week before the rapper was shot and killed. 6 men were convicted of murder in the aid of racketeering and conspiracy to commit murder. That carries a life sentence.
The charges were under the U.S. Code 1959, listed as violent acts in aid of racketeering, including count 1 of murder as part of a racketeering conspiracy, count 2 a firearms charge for the use of a weapon during a murder, count 3 attempted murder or conspiracy to commit murder, which carries a 10-year sentence, count 4 assault with a dangerous weapon or assault resulting in serious bodily harm, which can lead to up to 20 years in prison.
They're
and
done.
Counts 5, 6, and 7 mirroring the earlier charges specific to the second victim. Tom Schubert, assistant criminal justice editor for the Chicago Sun-Times, provided real-time updates from the courtroom on January the 17th, 2024, and in his tweets, he would detail the ultimate verdicts. Charles C. Murder Liggins, age 32, an alleged shooter, was found guilty on 5 of 7 counts, with the jury concluding that he committed the murder and conspired to murder FBG Duck using a gun in the shooting and wounding Duck's girlfriend during the attack. But he was found not guilty of shooting another shopper on Oak Street and using a gun in relation to that shooting. Marcus Muwop Smart, age 24, another alleged gunman, was also found guilty on 5 counts, but found not guilty on 2 counts related to the shooting of Duck's girlfriend and using a gun in relation to that shooting. Christopher C. Thang Thomas, age 24, an alleged shooter, was found guilty of 5 of 7 counts, with jurors concluding that he committed the murder, conspired to murder Duck, used a gun during the shooting, and indeed wounded Duck's girlfriend. But he was found not guilty of shooting another shopper on Oak Street and using a gun in relation to that incident. To Carlos Los Offord, age 32, an alleged getaway driver, was similarly found guilty on 5 counts, but not guilty of the 2 counts related to the shooting of Duck's girlfriend and using a gun in connection with that shooting. Kenneth Kenny Mac Robertson, age 30, another alleged getaway driver, faced the same 5 guilty verdicts and 2 not guilty verdicts as the others. And Ralph T.Z. Turpin, age 33, is set to be the first person to be sentenced on January the 14th, 2025, followed by C. Murder on January the 15th, Los on January the 16th, C. Thang on January the 21st, Kenny Mac on the 23rd, and finally Muwop on the 20th.
We in October, right? November, December, January. So we got a few more months till they actually get sentenced. That's going to be a crazy video.
Another 7th suspect, Zell Munna, real name Azel Rawls, had also been implicated in the murder of FBG Duck, but he would seemingly take himself off this earth before the trial for a number of reasons, likely with the pressure and guilt relating to the situation contributing somewhat to his mental breakdown at the time. Now, I did a full breakdown of the Zell story on this channel, so if you want to learn more about his dark story and how it ended in tragedy, go and check that out. You see, in April, Zell Munna would post lyrics on his Instagram saying that he's traumatized by homicides. Other images would circulate of Facebook statuses he'd apparently made around this time, suggesting that he had been struggling mentally. And then he was seen on IG Live apparently moving out of O-Block after the apparent birth of a new child in May.
I'm moving out the trenches. I'm gonna follow that shit.
Oh God, he is.
At least you know.
Of course, there were comments calling him the Duck Slayer and suggesting that the ops will just follow him to wherever he moves. But then, on August the 24th, after posting cryptic, emotional stories to his Instagram, it's reported that Zell Munna took his own life, committing suicide. Muwop went on to post a tribute to his Instagram, but you have to wonder what must have hurt more: the loss of their friend Zell, or the unanswered questions about why he might have done this. He was long rumored to have been involved in Duck's murder, constantly receiving comments from people who seemed to know. His car was identified in the shooting, and a lot of speculation has gone around as to why he might have taken his own life. Did he know the cops were closing in? Had they already got to him? Some rumors have swirled that they had, and that he might have even snitched and taken himself out before the other members could have done it to him. But then again, when you consider the fact that he was apparently related to Slutty, T-Roy, and HK, perhaps the trauma of losing so many people so close to him just became too much. There was other speculation that his suicide was completely unrelated and had something to do with a woman, but regardless, Zell was gone and there were a lot of unanswered questions. Ultimately, like Von and D-Thang, Zell ended up avoiding justice for the murder of Duck and winding up facing a much darker fate. With the remaining O-Block 6 members convicted and expected to receive life sentences, a case that had captivated Chicago and beyond came to a grim conclusion.
See, that shit crazy, cause like, He really marched. That lifestyle ain't it, bro. I'm telling y'all, bro. Y'all don't want to live that goddamn lifestyle, bro. That shit come with a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, bro. Y'all want to live that shit? Go ahead. Go ahead, you feel me? But y'all be wild with that shit, though, bro. Man, these motherfuckers about to get long-ass sentences. It's over with for them, bro. That ass, it's over with for them, you feel what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all feel about this video, though. Like the little video, share, subscribe to the channel, smash that bell, you hear me? That's all with y'all, man.